What's going on, guys? This is the True Red Politician here, and today's video we're going to be discussing overall the Democrats' prospects in the Senate and how much they're coping, and them on hopium believing that the Senate's legitimately in play, and they believe they could actually flip it to like 51 Democrat, 49 Republican. And we're going to explain how the map just does not allow that, and Democrats are just on just this copium train of just like a D+10 national environment. Like it's over for the GOP. And again, that's just not true. Like realistic worst case scenario, Democrats maybe flip 2 Senate seats. And honestly, I think honestly it's probably the best. We're just gonna fill out all like the safe or like likely Democrat states that won't really flip, and Republican as well. So we're gonna quickly fill out the map. Yeah, quickly fill out the map in terms of seats that are realistically not going to flip. And as you can see, as we fill in the Republican states, you're going to see real quick how Republicans are damn near close to their ceiling in terms of the Senate. And again, just like boom, Republicans are at 46 in terms of, or 47, no, 48 actually, excuse me, in terms of safe Republican seats already. And again, we haven't filled out even really the likely states or lean states even. And again, we're going to fill them out right now. And boom, Republicans are at 51. And Democrats think they're like, there's like a 90% chance that these Senate seats that we have right now currently are going to stay how they are. There's really no way they're going to flip. And boom, Republicans are out the gate, are at 51. And again, like, and the reason why Nebraska is like lean, by the way, Democrats are fielding like a fake moderate, like independent candidate who again will vote in line with the Democrats like 80% of the time. And the guy's just like a goofball. Again, he's going against Crickets, which is the stronger Republican out of the two in Nebraska. The Crickets will easily win by 7 to 8 points. I'm not worried about that. In Iowa, it's an open seat, but we're fielding a pretty strong Republican candidate, all things considered. Maripotola in Alaska, it's like, again, Democrats are saying it's possible because Nebraska's weird, or not Kansas, Alaska's weird because it votes weird and all this, and Alaska's just overall weird. I get that, but again, she won on a fluke. Then she failed re-election, and she's now going to go for upper chamber when it's more polarizing. When she's going against a decently strong, established Republican candidate, could she get it within 4 to 5? Sure. But again, at the end of the day, she's probably going to lose. Again, Texas, again, like, could it be like kind of a 2018 style turnout? Like, sure, but again, like, Texas has gotten redder since then, and like the white suburbanites shifted left already. It's basically set in stone at this point. And again, Talarico, he's awful. Again, he's trying to be a moderate, like the real true Christian or whatever. In reality, he's like, his politics is like Portland, Oregon, like very far left, socially especially. This guy's awful. And again, like Ohio, John Huston, decently strong, a candidate who votes in line with Trump, but also gets along with the establishment. He'll have a lot of money. And again, Sherrod Brown, he's running a relatively unserious campaign, saying, "Oh, how dare Donald Trump overturn like protection status for Haitian migrants?" Like, yeah, okay, that's gonna play well in Ohio, a Trump plus 11 state. Like, Sherrod Brown would have to play this delicate game of like criticizing Trump while also trying to get like white working class voters to vote for him, like Trump working class voters to vote for it. It's just not going to play well. Again, honestly, I'll leave it as like likely or lean, not even likely, because sure, Brown could get it within 4 to 5, but again, Huston will probably win by that margin, maybe even more, by 7 to 8. Same thing with Iowa. So this is really what we have, and I'll leave as this is basically all we have, like 5 toss-ups. And I think the first likely state that will probably most likely go to either side is New Hampshire as lean Republican, because there's a shot that John Sununu could maybe win against Pappas, but I don't see it. Like could he, if it was Chris Sununu, the brother of the governor Sununu, like could he actually win it? Maybe, but I think John Sununu would get it close, but again, I think he's going to get it, fall short. You think he can get it within 2 to 4, but again, unfortunately, I think it'll fall short, but it'll be decently close. It'll be a Senate seat I will keep an eye out for still. And we have Maine. And for some reason, Democrats think Maine's on like a guaranteed auto flip, and like Susan Collins is done for. Even though in 2020, when she was actually strong, going against a strong Democrat who was decently well funded, who during like 2020, when Republicans state nationally were in the disaster zone because of COVID and uneasiness in the economy, and the polls showed, Susan Collins losing by 8 to 10 points, and the polls on net had like a 15 to 20 point polling miss because the polls were wrong, and Susan Collins won by 8 to 10 points by double digits almost. It was like a net miss of like 15 to 20, and a ticket split from Donald Trump by damn near 20 points. Like, that is not a small margin. So again, I think this will be the closest election for her because again, she's going against Plattner, which again I think will drum up the far left for him. But there's a mountain of dirt on the guy. Again, the SS like skull tattoo on his chest, and his excuse for it was laughably bad. His Reddit account has like a lot of far left, like pro Antifa, very discard. This is just a mountain of dirt on the guy. And also, Susan Collins has a lot of crossover appeal. The state's a little older and more professional class, like white collar, like professional, and Susan Collins is able to appeal to those voters. So she has crossover appeal. I think she'll win by 3 to 5. I'm not worried about her. I think Democrats think she's guaranteed to lose is laughable. And again, I'm gonna have George just like tilt blue because if the Republican establishment actually got behind Mike Collins and coalesced behind him, I think Republicans actually have a very good shot because, like, sure, Ossoff is established. He has a lot of money behind him, sure, but, like, he's overrated. He won on a fluke in 2020, and even then, it's like, I think the guy could still go down. It just depends if the Republican the just party is able to get behind Mike Collins. Like, if they're able to do so, I think they actually have a decent shot, even in a runoff scenario. In the runoff, I think even. So again, we'll see in Georgia. Even though the college educated, and also Georgia and North Carolina are like the only states in the deep South where like college educated whites still vote Republican. Maybe not nearly as much as 15, 20 years ago, but they still vote decently Republican, and low turnout actually helps Republicans because black voters tend to not show up nearly as much in midterms, and like the professional, like white collar college educated, like the credential class, I guess you can say, still show up in the South, especially the deep South, and you still vote decently Republican. The answer is it going to be enough in Georgia, in North Carolina? And I think the answer is still no at the moment, even though it could change because in North Carolina, for instance, I guess you can say, Roy Cooper, again, is very overrated. I don't think he's nearly as strong as people make him out to be because he was a popular governor, even though at the federal level is a bit of a different story. The last time Democrats won North Carolina federally was in 2008. And even then, it was very close. And again, not really voted blue ever since. But again, North Carolina, voters, they like Democrat governors. But for senators or federal, it's a bit of a different story. And again, it's like Michael Whatley. Again, he's a decent candidate, but I'm sitting here wondering, where's your campaign at? I feel that's the only reason why North Carolina, at least as of right now, is like tilt blue, is because his campaign is kind of non-existent. And again, if his campaign really starts hitting the road within a month or two, then yeah, I think he could start talking about it being a tilt Republican. But at least as of right now, I say it's tilt blue. It could change though, for sure. But if his campaign doesn't get off the road until like June or even July, even, which would be insane, then yeah, I think Republicans might be in some trouble in North Carolina. And also, the polls kind of show it as like kind of for sure a toss up, but the good polls that know what they're doing show that like Roy Cooper is only at 47, 48%, while Wiley's at like 43, 44. And if you're a statewide governor, or at least used to be, with basically, everybody knowing who you are, and you're somewhat popular, and you're still only polling at 74, 78%, not like 50 or 49 even, that's a bit concerning because everybody knows who you are, and you're kind of going against a kind of no-name Republican, and even then, you're still not winning like 50 plus or even 49. That's a bit concerning for the Democrats, and that's why I think it's tilt blue, and it could definitely go red still, narrowly. This is probably be the most contested, and if a Senate seat would flip, red to blue, it would be North Carolina. And the final state is Michigan, and I'm gonna have his tilt blue because Mike Rogers is an okay candidate. He's able to win. He's the most likely Republican candidate to win in a Senate race, but I think it really depends on the Democrat candidate, because if it's Haley Stevens, the establishment will get behind her. She'll get a lot of money, and even then, I think she has a lot of problems, some skeletons, some dirt on her. And again, she might not be. I mean, she's far left. We get that, but like, she isn't like far left enough for the far left, because again, she's kind of like I think the Arab Muslim votes in Dearborn and the Ann Arbor region might see her as like too pro Jewish or Israel. I guess you can say, and that could make her narrowly lose to Rogers, because it could come down to 10, 20, 30, 40,000 raw votes. And in the Dearborn, Ann Arbor, Detroit areas, there's a decently high Muslim population, and that could make her sink and make her lose. So again, if that's the case, Republicans have a shot. And if it's El Sayed as the Democrat candidate, who is basically a Zoran Mondani of the Midwest, in Michigan from New York City, is basically a Zoran Mondani, then yeah, I think it's going to be tilt Republican. I think Mike Rogers will narrowly win it, not guaranteed, but could narrowly win it, because he's very far left. You name the far left cause, the guy probably supports in some way or shape or form. So for now, tilt blue. Could go tilt red, depends on the Democrat candidate. But as you can see, the map, I'm not seeing a pathway for the Senate, because you're gonna have to flip Trump plus 10 states, Trump plus 10 states in this day and age with polarization, when you're only winning a generic ballot D+4, D+5. I'm not seeing it. It would take like a D+10 blue wave, just national. It would just be 2018 on steroids for you to get the Senate to 50-50 even, let alone 51 Democrat, 49 Republican. I mean, I'm not seeing it. Again, could you flip North Carolina? Could you flip Maine even? Sure, of course. Republicans could lose 2 Senate seats. Maine and North Carolina definitely on the table. But again, like actually losing the Senate, I just don't see it. Even though the betting markets, again, are a bit volatile and saying Republicans actually might lose the Senate, it's 50-50. I think it's like a 10% chance Democrats flip the Senate. Hell, even get it to 50-50 even. I think it's a 10% chance. So anyways, guys, I think this is going to be the end of the video. This is not really a full-on prediction, I guess you can say, but I think just like the reality, and I'm just showing you how the map is and how Democrats are basically coping with their chances in the Senate. So again, a little bit of a longer video, but still, I want to go more in depth just to show how ridiculous the COPIUM is. Again, 51 Republican, 49 Democrat Senate seat is definitely on the table, but vice versa for the Democrats, no way in hell they're coping. So anyways, guys, this is going to be the end of the video. This is the True Red Politician signing out. Later.